The American economy is like a car with 249,000 miles on it that has been patched by the government and the Fed. Today, I read an interesting article on Yahoo Finance, put out by CNN and written by Alicia Wallace, titled, "The American Consumer is on the Ropes. Tariffs and Anxiety Could Deliver the Knockout Blow." According to the author, America's economic engine is running a little rough these days. I'm going to stop right here for a moment. I think it's been running a little rough for a long time. Ever since a large portion of our manufacturing was offshored for cheaper labor, our economic engine has been running a little rough. Since the author made reference to running rough, a car comes to mind. America is 249 years old as of 2025. Let's imagine America like a car with 249,000 miles on it. I feel like the government and the Fed have been able to patch up the leaky exhaust on the 249,000 mile car. They slapped a little Bondo on the rust holes. They've welded some patches on some structural members under the car. Instead of replacing the motor mounts, they used a ratchet strap to keep the engine from coming off the unibody. They've been able to put some stop leak in the radiator. They've wrapped some of the weak hoses in duct tape, and they've poured some additive in the transmission to keep it from slipping. The 249,000 mile car is still going down the road all right, but it certainly isn't anything like it was when it was newer. At any moment, it could end up along the side of the road, and the driver would need to be out there with his thumb in the air begging for someone to help. Getting back to the article, the author said, "Consumer confidence is cratering. Debt burdens are growing. People are worrying more about their jobs, and they're pulling back on some spending out of caution." Now, the author says the overall fundamentals that prop up the consumer remain solid, but the risks have heightened significantly. Here are my thoughts. I wish the author would have elaborated regarding the overall fundamentals that prop the consumer up. I think access to credit is propping the consumer up right now, and that is becoming more problematic because we are in a higher interest rate environment. Note I didn't say high interest rate environment. I said a higher interest rate environment. I think this is more normal, but some everyday people and some businesses are throwing a fit because they grew comfortable in an artificially low interest rate environment. My friends, what we experienced in the recent past was not normal. If you think that was normal, this may not be the channel for you. Getting back to the article, the author referenced the Commerce Department and a survey which revealed that consumer sentiment plunged 12% in March. Well, I'm not surprised by this. Some Americans have watched their retirement accounts drop recently because of all the red days in the market. Some Americans are likely finding out how their employers are going to be impacted by Donald Trump's tariffs. Others may be in a situation where they are struggling to keep up with the rising cost of just about everything in life. Getting back to the article, the author said, "Consumer spending powers more than 2/3 of the nation's economic activity. So if that engine falters, the economic consequences can start spiraling." Well, I agree with that completely. It frustrates me that our society encourages debt, risk, and speculation and disincentivizes saving because of inflation. What kind of superpower has an economic engine built on consumer spending? In my opinion, we were a lot better off during the post-war economy when we manufactured what the world needed. Now, we are one credit card away from becoming a third world country. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "Even if you have a job, you must watch your spending, especially discretionary spending, and keep it frugal and to an absolute minimum. Costs are going up everywhere, and you need to have some on hand for essentials. Only buy exactly what you need, and you personally will be better off when inflation goes through the roof and prices get way out of hand. Be very cautious." The next commenter said, Americans need to start producing more, which means massive infrastructure investment, which is not happening. It will also take time to build mills and factories. Americans are basically in bad shape for the foreseeable future. Another commenter said, what I love is that the same people who want to bring manufacturing back also say they don't want to pay more for the products they buy. And of course, they don't want to work for $5 an hour, but want at least $20 per hour, which of course means that inflation will zoom to double digits. The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, this is an inevitable consequence of our two fundamental drivers, capitalism and technology. More and more money will end up in fewer hands. It used to be that workers were needed in order to make money, and everything was good because you had a legitimate reason to be paid well. Now, everything is automation, and that just leaves owners and consumers. No one is any more greedy or underhanded than before. This is just the way things have to play out. It's ugly and getting worse. Well, my friends, the commenters always have interesting things to say. Please keep in mind, these are the thoughts of the commenters and not me. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting story today. This one was on yahoo.com, put out by Fortune and written by Emma Burley, titled, Gen Z Americans say the clothes in stores are a bad omen that we're going into a recession. The author referenced someone on TikTok who visited Old Navy and pointed out an article of clothing made of rough material that doesn't need washing very often. This person said it is recession core. The author said people in Generation Z see going to graduate school as a recession indicator because it is a way to delay entry into a weak white-collar labor market. Another person said the nightlife scene is basically gone. We are in spring and we've had sunny days. On a Friday night, there were no people in the streets by 12:45 a.m. People can't afford to go out. They can't afford drinks, and they can't afford to come home late in an Uber. Well, my friends, I believe all of this. I think people need to be prepared for this to potentially get a lot worse. I wouldn't want to be a small business owner opening a new bar or a restaurant right now. Sure, there are some people who will continue to go out, and they will fund it with credit cards or student loan money. But there are others who are going to cut back and prepare for the dark storm clouds that could roll in. If I were a young person right now, I would not be going into debt. I would be building up an emergency account. I would be learning new skills and networking. I would be preparing to pivot in the event I lost my job. Many young people never lived through the GFC. They don't remember all of the people on television carrying their personal property out of office buildings in cardboard boxes. A lot of these people watched their retirement savings drop like a rock, and they had to tap what they had left to survive, versus being in a position to buy more toward the bottom. Could we experience dark times like that again? It's certainly possible. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.